Optimism is its own perpetual motion machine. I'm guessing that the next totally awesome concern is the one which the Pollyanna in all of us doesn't like to think about. I'm now going to administer a test. I'm a teacher, that is my job. Tests give me power, that is why I went into teaching. This test is called a Pollyanna test. I'm going to talk about nuclear war for about 2 minutes. Your initial emotional reaction may be anger, indignation, or exasperation. Those are Pollyanna reactions. That is okay. I think we all would flunk the test. But I'm not intending to rain on your parade. I just want you to check the sky. My message, you see, is an optimistic one. Do you hear the noise of the waterfall? Parents, guardians, did you know that 17 out of 18 students believe that we are going to have a thermonuclear war by the time the class of 2001 gets to senior high school? The 18th kid, incidentally, is optimistic because he feels his folks are actively trying to learn about the problems so that they may become part of the solution. Did you know this year marks another occasion? We, the human race, have just announced to ourselves that although it took 39 years, we have finally completed our doomsday machine. At any moment, we are 7 minutes from starting a thermonuclear war. Last year, it was something like 90 minutes. Graduates, here is why I am talking about this obscenity on this happy occasion. You already feel bad. Your realistic optimism is on the sick list. Your Pollyanna is alive and well. It is saying, let's party. You must confront the nuclear bogeyman. Look it right in the eye. It is not as bad as your worst imaginings. Read Jonathan Schell's Fate of the Earth. Read everything you can about the arms race. Fear will turn to anger or indignation. Apathy, which is the numbness of dread, will turn into concern. These are positive feelings connected with realistic optimism. Pollyanna optimism in kids is wonderful to see. It is also wonderful when it alights on our adult shoulders like a butterfly. But continuous Pollyanna optimism is ignorance. 1 billion or 2 adults can afford ignorance no longer. Not with 7 minutes between us and oblivion. Now, I just finished Schell's new book. It's called The Abolition, in which he actually comes up with a reasonable solution to our global problem. He is actually showing us a practical way to pull us back from the brink. We are going to have to face up to the responsibility of survival. We are slowly waking up from a 39-year sleep, and there is still time to save ourselves. What more does a realistic optimist want? Now, you're likely feeling betrayed at this moment. I want you to try to put aside those bad feelings and place yourself about halfway between Pollyanna and realistic optimism. Look around you and take stock. Beautiful decorations. This year's theme is games people play. Those you love and respect are beside you. The special ones, your parents, guardians, and other relatives, are behind you, back there in the bleachers and in the audience on the floor. They are truly behind you. There is love in this place. There is trust. There is respect. There is an appreciation for joyous times together. There is a wholesome determination to become better. Suddenly, for a moment, we are one. And hang on to that while I give you a key and a secret. First, the key. If you are feeling good right now, it is not because after making you feel bad, I reached out and unscrambled a few wires and made you feel good again. You did that. You exercised some control over how you feel. Don't lose that key. Now the secret. Here it is. There are no grown-ups. Just a bunch of us kids trying to make it together. Oh, we older ones dress differently. Maybe we know a bit more and have a little more power and responsibility, but there it is. No grown-ups. Just our gang with Alfalfa over there and Spanky and Buckwheat and the others out playing in our beautiful backyard, all united by optimism and superglue, all knowing intuitively that optimism attracts and pessimism repels. I fervently hope that the class of 1984 will come together triumphantly in 17 years to toast the new millennium and the class of 2001. Thank you.
thank you, Mr. Hunter, for a very interesting and thought-provoking address this evening, and I think the grad showed you how they received it. Next, I would like to introduce the young lady that was chosen by the class of '84 to represent them here this evening, the valedictorian, Miss Karen Makortoff. Karen?
Thank you, Mr. Todd. Good evening, Mr. McDonald, guests, members of the teaching staff, and fellow graduates. Tonight we celebrate the completion of a climb to the plateau of required education and prepare ourselves for the next leg of our journey. As we face this challenge, not only must we follow our own path, but we must walk it alone in order to develop unique goals and standards. Our first look towards the future may frighten and discourage us, but we will face it with determination. Let us look for a moment at some of these barriers. As residents of Nelson, we are aware of a poor economic state. Jobs are scarce, the competition great, and careers are becoming obsolete as quickly as they are being developed. We have wide exposure to breakdowns in personal relationships and marriages, partly due to ever-changing values. Meanwhile, there is the constant threat of nuclear war. These are obstacles that we will meet during our climb, causing us to doubt our decisions, but we must move out of the valley of problems and pessimism and start our ascent to the top as we achieve our personal best. Terry Fox is an inspiration to all of us, for he had the courage to move beyond what he couldn't change and, from a deadly disease, create energy and hope for a whole generation of Canadians. We trust his example will help us reach our personal aim. We must persevere to attain success, not only in careers, but also in relationships, in a sense of happiness and personal worth, and in the pursuit of personal interests and adventure. Many of us wonder where we will be in the future. Some of us will spend many hours practicing a piece of music until that difficult note can be perfected, while others will be tediously poring over rows of numbers in their accounting journals. Still others will be found in an attic, streaks of yellow and blue oil paint on their forehead from a swipe of the back of their hand, while downstairs in the library, a piece of writing has just been revised for the 7th time and still isn't quite right. Many evenings there will be lights left on in labs, while the scientists among us may be on the brink of a new discovery. At the same time, the rehearsal halls are filled because auditions for the play are next week. But the homemakers are free from these pressures. They only have to do the cleaning, cook supper, and find a babysitter in the next half hour. These are only a few possibilities of our lives in the future, and with anticipation we step forward towards them, 12 years of formal education behind us. But we mustn't forget our first years at home with our parents when our learning began. They have helped us through diapers and teethers, seen our first steps, and heard our first words. So it must have been with difficulty that they sent us to school for the first day, knowing that now an outsider would be responsible for most of our education. But they were always waiting at home to help us through the rough spots and offer reassurances. We trust that we have made much progress since then. Looking back at our years in school, we fondly remember nap time in kindergarten, when we were required to lie down and rest a while. But the truth of the matter was that this time was really for the teacher, so she could take 2 aspirins and pass out for 10 minutes. From kindergarten, we just kind of slipped into elementary school, where began the grueling times tables and spelling bees. Then came the great promotion to junior high. Even though each one of us was scared half to death, we sure weren't going to admit it. A different wing, floor, room, and teacher for every subject, and if that didn't make it difficult enough, 500 more students were added to crowd the hallways. But we got through those years, which helped prepare us for our transition to senior high. Here, we have gradually increased our 15-minute recess to a 3-hour double study. But at least one thing hasn't changed. Just like in elementary school, we are still required to bring a note from Mom or Dad to excuse us for an absence. These memories, along with many others, will be stored away to recount the good times we had together here as students of LV Rogers. We are proud of our highly successful sport teams and their energetic coaches and sponsors. Also, we would like to thank the people who helped made our extracurricular activities and intramurals a success, even though it was almost impossible to walk from the canteen to the bleachers at lunchtime without getting hit by a poorly aimed puck. But these activities helped us to develop many special friendships that have grown, changed, and in some sad instances, ended. It is with a heavy heart that at this time we remember Brenda Barnes, a very special person who could have been a member of our graduating class, but can no longer share with us the many joys we find together. These precious moments are due to the efforts of all our teachers, principals, and parents who have been a great support. They have helped to mold us into the young adults that we are today. They have given their advice, added ideas, and shared their knowledge in order for us to climb one step closer to our future. Our ability to meet the challenge is due to them. Now, as we prepare to move forward once again, we recall with fondness the friendships and experiences that we have shared in our past 12 years. As we thank those who have contributed to our education, we know that their efforts have not been in vain. We are, and we hope that Elvie Rogers will also be proud of the class of '84. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this brings to close another memorable graduation program. Particularly like to express for you to both Ms. Makortoff and Mr. Hunter our very deep and sincere appreciation, not only for the thought-provoking addresses they have given us, but for the tremendous style and aplomb in which they delivered them. And again, Ms. Makortoff, Mr. Hunter, thank you from me and all of us for a delightful address. Thank you. It's interesting that both put the truth to the point that really there are no great men. As one person said some time ago, there are only great events that you and I are forced by circumstances to meet. And I feel particularly confident in this group of youngsters, ladies and gentlemen, that they will indeed meet the circumstances and meet them with realistic optimism. And we certainly send with you, young people, our deepest respect and love. Our thanks go out to the people who have worked to make this evening's program a success, far too many to name. We've all enjoyed it. Most importantly of all, however, our thanks go out to you young people who have won these awards, who have won this day. Particularly go out to parents, teachers, guardians, friends. Of course, without all of you, none of this would be possible. Grads, take this moment now and cherish it. It says in a very real way just how much we cherish you. Think of it not as the end of an effort, but rather as one milestone on a long path, and know that you have made an excellent beginning. Again, my congratulations to each and every one of you on behalf of all of us. God bless you, and go in good faith. Thank you for a wonderful evening. This officially concludes our evening. Thank you very much.